Hey everyone, I'm Charles Epting from HR Harmer, and I'm here because we have a very exciting sale coming up. On July 6th, we're going to be offering the Erivan collection of Western Postal History. We've been fortunate enough to be selling items from the Erivan collection for the last 4 or so years. We've had some incredible realizations, whether it's fancy cancellations, Pony Express envelopes, provisional stamps, many of which have gone into the 5 and 6 digits. But I want to make sure that everyone realizes that the Erivan collection is not just these expensive world-class rarities. There's many items across all price points contained in this collection. So today I'm going to be looking at 5 covers from the upcoming sale that are all starting under $100, covers that fit any collector's budget. So to kick things off, we've got lot 227, which is a cover from the California State Telegraph Company. The California State Telegraph Company was the first telegraph company established in the state of California in 1853. It would initially connected San Francisco to Marysville, but in 1861 it connected up with the Transcontinental Telegraph, which put the Pony Express out of business. This was the reason the Pony Express ceased operations in late 1861. And by 1866, the California State Telegraph was purchased by Western Union and became a part of their nationwide network of telegraphs. So it's a great piece of early California postal history. Another similar piece from California is lot 247, which was carried by Adams and Company, an express company out of Mormon Island, California. Mormon Island is sort of an odd name for a town, but it was established in 1848 by members of the Mormon Battalion of the Mexican-American War. It's located in present-day Sacramento County, California, and was a flourishing, gold rush boomtown. By the early 1850s, their population was over 2,500 people. Unfortunately, in 1856, tragedy struck. The entire town burned. It was never rebuilt, and the site of the town was actually flooded when the Folsom Dam was constructed in the 1950s. So the town where this cover was sent from is underwater today. So again, another great look into the early days of California's history. Next up, the third lot I want to look at, lot number 403, is from Port Townsend, Washington, and the stamp has a fancy cancellation of a kicking mule on it. This is one of the most popular and whimsical fancy cancellations. This duplex device was created by C.A. Klinkner of Oakland, California in the early 1880s. It was made of vulcanized rubber, which was fairly new and novel technology at that time, and he sold his device to 5 towns across California and Washington state. Again, this example being from Port Townsend, and it shows you how, again, whimsical and fun a lot of these fancy cancellations were, even in far-flung parts of the western United States. Fourth cover we want to look at is lot 455. This is from Mammoth Springs, Wyoming, but the corner card is from the Yellowstone Park Association. Yellowstone National Park was our nation's first national park, established 1872, but in those early days, nobody could really figure out how to monetize it. It was so remote. Even though there was a train station, people just couldn't get to Yellowstone like they can today. Nowadays, we think of, lines of cars waiting to get in or mobs of people waiting for Old Faithful to go off. But in these early days, nobody really knew how to make money off of a national park like this. The pioneer of monetization in Yellowstone was this gentleman, E.C. Waters. He was a Civil War veteran, very cantankerous, got into a lot of fights with people. He wanted to do things his own way, but he was responsible for the construction of a number of hotels in Yellowstone. He had a steamboat that he would actually take across a couple of the lakes, and a very interesting peek into the commercialization of the American West. And last up, I want to look at lot 513, which is from Garcia, New Mexico. Garcia's post office was only open from 1892 to about 1909, so it's a ghost town today. But as you can see, the corner card is for Faustino Garcia, a sheep raiser and notary public. What I didn't realize until I started researching this cover was how important the sheep ranching industry was in the early days of New Mexico. In 1880, there were 2 million sheep in New Mexico versus about 119,000 people. And even today, New Mexico's population is about 2 million. So there were as many sheep in New Mexico in the 1880s as there are people today. And I think this cover gives a wonderful insight into that early industry that helped put New Mexico on the map. So again, those are just 5 items, all starting under $100 that I think are interesting, beautiful, tell great stories. There's about 300 lots in this sale. Again, many of which are at those lower price points, but I think there's really something for everyone in this collection. And I encourage you to take a look and hopefully do a little bit of bidding on July 6th when this collection comes up for auction. So thank you for joining me, and we look forward to bringing more postal history stories to you in the near future.